Hi all, it's June, like the month, and let's talk about how to survive as a creator in 2024. So the creator economy itself is absolutely booming. It is growing and it is not stopping anytime soon. The numbers are really present and you can feel it because there is just so much content to be consumed. And we all know that across different channels already, there is the pop-up and the rise of all sorts of different creators. Now, that goes to show, how do we, as a creator, and if we're in that space and we've decided to make this our life, how do we make a sustainable source of income? How do we make this a real business that allows us to continue doing this for years? We don't want this to just be a once-off thing. So let's look at the ways that you can create that peace of mind. Especially as a creator now, you've got to cut through all that noise. And the only way you can cut through really is by trying to figure out how to stand out. To stand out, it doesn't mean to do something wacky or have so much money that you can produce things like Mr. Beast. It just is about the importance of your authentic self and your originality. Because there is obviously going to be copycats out there. There's going to be a sea of trends that you draw inspiration from, but it all comes down to standing out as you. Now, the key here is really about how you're able to genuinely connect with your audience. If you don't have any way that you are genuinely connecting with them or providing them some form of value, you're not going to stand out. If you have ChatGPT just throw out a bunch of scripts that help you speak on it or create all this content that at the end of the day, somebody else can Google the same thing and get that same information from somebody else. There's nothing that isn't already known that isn't out there. It is how you present that information and how your style connects with that person and how that is received. Really about standing out, and I think it's important to continue to be as creative as possible, to explore different innovative formats, to explore different ways that you can really stand out. Cool? So there's one side to just be creative and try to stand out through great content, but I think that this absolutely needs to be paired with consistency. If you are not consistent enough, that is absolutely not going to be, it's not going to work for you. Most creators, you need to be constantly making more and more. You constantly need to be showing up, and you can't just become a creator who has a business if you just post for a year and expect to have a large audience just from that. It doesn't work that way. You have to build your authority. You have to refine your art. You have to refine your creations, and that is done through consistency, showing up on a week-to-week basis, making sure you're actually publishing and posting that content. Also making sure that you have some form of collaboration, engagement, and having this balance between not just the quality and the creativeness of what you put out, but also in terms of frequency, making sure that you are there. Because the more times you show up, the more possibilities that you create for you to be seen, the more reach that you generate for yourself, and the more opportunities. So super important, consistency. Paired with consistency, they all connect, but you've really got to have resilience. Persistence, you just can't give up. It's not an option when it comes to really surviving as a creator. You're gonna face challenges. You're gonna face exhaustion, or you're gonna feel discouraged when you work really hard on a video or some form of content that you put out there and you don't have as much social proof from engagement or views. You can't let that bring you down because it's kind of part of the game. You're going to learn from failures. You're going to learn by iterating again and again, and the more times you're putting things out there actually the more feedback that you're receiving. If you can reframe your process of putting things out and putting something live that doesn't receive any feedback, just reframe that as you are practicing your own craft. You are perfecting the way that you deliver some form of information. A big example of that, even from my own end, is that I was blocked from putting anything out onto YouTube because I wanted to be as perfect as like a Peter McKinnon video, or as well designed up as like, I don't know, something that had drone shots in it. And I was always for years just holding back on putting this out there. And instead of being this perfection, instead of allowing perfectionism to be this blocker of action, I just went ahead and published, even if I know that they're not of the top most engaging like edits or whatever. I'm honoring and showing up for myself, and by seeing myself be resilient, be consistent, I can then reframe it as well to understand what it is that people receive really well, what areas I'm able to improve on. And I take this really as a practicing kind of exercise. Instead of thinking about like the outcomes and the results, I'm just using this as an opportunity to grow myself. So that's another really important factor. Stop looking at the numbers and stop caring about the social proof. Do not prioritize like how it is received by people, because you can't let that be the predetermining factor of whether or not you can continue. If you keep looking at how many followers you haven't gained, or you keep comparing yourself to any views that you don't see or have, just manage your own expectations. Don't expect to be somebody who has 100,000 followers within the first year. That stuff takes time to build that like community, to build that like value. It's not instant. And by setting realistic expectations up for yourself allows you to slowly reach and slowly work towards that goal, rather than feeling discouraged when you see, oh gosh, I've been posting for a year, but fuck, I haven't even reached 10K followers. And you put that heaviness and that pressure on yourself. And by doing that, you're going to basically tell yourself, nah, I'm going to give up because I can't do this right now and I've already wasted this time. Manage your own expectations from it and reframe it to be somewhat of an exercise and a growth like process, rather than a like outcome results driven channel. Cool? And the final thing that is so important and pretty obvious is the fact that you should be offering value. If you are just reiterating something that somebody said and it doesn't provide anything new, nobody's going to stay to listen. And the only way to increase your watch time or increase your engagement time is to truly just give out your secret sauce. Like no gatekeeping, none of that, because it doesn't work. Actually having somebody work together with you also isn't about you holding all the secrets to yourself. It's actually telling everybody how to do it, what you actually do in your system, your process, and how you help your clients. And it's the execution part. It's them being able to say, okay, I know what I need to do, but I actually need you to help me do it. And by seeing that you are the expert, you are the lead, you are the person that they think of when they think, who can help me with this problem, that's when you start to generate that offer that somebody is going to feel so silly to not work with you. It's offering that value straight up and sharing like everything that you know and putting it out there. Because trust me, once you do as well, you think that by sharing your ideas or giving people like the secret sauce, they're going to go ahead and like just do it. It doesn't work that way. The whole process of actually executing and implementing a strategy, that's where the work needs to be done. Just knowing it is not that useful. But by you providing that value, you're sharing that and you're allowing them to know that you are the one to go to. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. I hope you are able to survive as a creator in 2024, and there's a bunch of ways to really get past through that noise. If you like the vibe, please subscribe. I'm JuneAye, and I hope you have an amazing day. Ciao. Bye.